Yeah, Rondon's here. All right, guys, we are officially recording. This is Helpie Not meeting number something because I never know the number. And today is the 23rd of November of 2018, which is pretty mind-blowing to me because that means that the year is about to end. We are about to hit December. So I always start this little meetings with a little explanation of what it is that we're doing, what Helpie is all about, because you never know if this is going to be somebody's first recording. I put this not just on the Steam blockchain, but this also goes on YouTube. And you don't know if somebody's just going to click it and be like, oh, what the hell is this? So I assume as if somebody is brand new. Helpie is an initiative that is basically based currently in the Steam blockchain and is a small community, you know, that, I don't know how you could say it. It supports people. It supports content. It supports people. And twice a week we do meetings. We get together on Discord, on the Helpie Discord. On Mondays we do, you know, we call it the League of Helpiness, which is the people that are most engaged that belong to Helpie can win some Steam. We're doing one on Thursdays now. That one's run by Paula. And we're doing one on Fridays. The one on Fridays is specific to post shilling. And I'm going to add a link on this video on YouTube and also on Steam to a short explanation. It's not too short, but what post shilling is all about, what the idea is of post shilling. But it's basically a way that I trick people, or that we trick people, I shouldn't say just me. We trick people into reading other people's content because, of course, this is not just about you writing, but it's also about you learning from other people. It is also about your experience as a reader or watcher or whatever. You could also be consuming videos. That's the idea. So we have a system of incentives so that people want to do this. The one on Monday, of course, like I was saying, people can win liquid Steam. On Thursdays, there's also been some raffles, like people, a lot of really people that show up, they can also win some SBDs or Steams. And on Fridays, we have a special bot that is called the Helpie Fan Club that gets assigned to people that are normally shilling. And that the people that get in that list get some extra love. So if you're participating on the poll shilling and you get added to the bot, well, you're going to have some extra support. And that's what it's all about. It's about reinforcing the behaviors that we want to see. I don't know what that is. Is that some sort of bot, Crypto and Coffee, that you do lotto enter and it goes into a bot? Is that what that is? So I am not familiar with what you are doing. I see what you're doing. I see. All right, so we have a small audience today. We have a small crowd, but it doesn't matter. There's a couple of things I wanted to share, and then we're going to do some shilling. And if the little get-together, the little meeting is short, who cares? Because it's not about how long we make it. It's about it being something of quality. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, this is I'm going to run this by idea by you guys and see what you guys tell me. Whoever wants to contribute to this. I think it's a great idea. And I think it's something that the Helpie members can possibly do. This is just a little plan. We are gazillionaires. Yes, we are gazillionaires. You know what? Let me talk about that for a second because I know that's caused some confusion. And then I'll go back to my idea and I'll pitch it to you guys. A few days ago, the wallet on Steam stopped working. And of course, a lot of people were really confused about it because all of a sudden the account said some crazy amount. It said that like even if you had a small account, it would still show millions of dollars in valuation. And there's a couple of people out there that have been putting some misinformation saying that this means that the blockchain is broken or what have you. So here's some facts about that so that everybody knows what's going on. The way that the wallet shows you the value of your tokens is by assuming the price of SBDs to be close to $1. What that means is that if the price of SBD is off by whatever reason, and of course it could be a glitch in reporting of the witnesses, it could be many things, but if that is off by whatever reason, it's going to display it funky. All right, so why is it off? That is the better question. Why is SBD not worth $1? Well, this is when it gets a little confusing. But SBD is basically a debt for $1 against the Steam blockchain. And because the price of Steam has been going down, the debt of SBD is not sustainable at the moment. Now, this doesn't mean that Steam is broken. This doesn't mean that this is the end. This doesn't mean like, okay, start buying canned food and put it on the and put it in a freaking, bunker because it's over. That's not what it means. It means that while the price of Steam is down, which it is right now, and you can can tofu, I'm sure you can do it, Wes. That's a good idea. And it cannot sustain the 10% maximum, then the blockchain stops printing SBD, which I don't know if you guys have noticed. Right now, when you make a post and you do the claim, you don't see SBDs anymore, or a really tiny amount of SBDs show up. And also, the price of SBD starts to go down. So it's not even holding up to the peg. I think last I checked, there you go. She just did it right now. Kitty did it for me. Is 88 cents. So because that is happening, that is basically a bug. So the way that the number that is being displayed on your wallet is literally a bug in the way it's being displayed, but not a bug per se in the blockchain being corrupt. And that's important to understand. So it's almost like you could say it's a user interface error, and not so much that all of a sudden your wallet is broken. The blockchain is working the way that it's supposed to. Now, I hesitate to give anybody investment advice, so I have to premise this by saying this is not investment advice. But the truth is that 88 cents Steam-backed dollars is pretty crazy, and it blows my mind that it's there, and it's a very safe bet, somewhat safe bet, to say that it's going to go back up. It just simply has to. On top of that, though, the 38 cent or 39 cent Steam that we have at the moment is also ridiculously low, and it blows my mind that it's gone so low. So both of those, in my view, and again, this is not investment advice, I'm supposed to say that to protect my butt. In my view, those are excellent deals. And what a more appropriate day, Black Friday, for you to get amazing deals. So if you were considering buying some Steam at any point in time, putting in some fiat, I think this is as good a time as any. Of course, your choice. You are buying, Ron? That's how you do it. You are buying? Awesome. I actually took it upon myself to make some phone calls and then tell some people, friends of mine, about this. Of course, with the caveat that it is not investment advice. I just believe it's a good buy. And one of them right now, who's been in the blockchain for a little while, and he gets in trouble every now and then, but he's a good guy. He's actually going to become an orca here in a little bit. So he's buying a shit ton of Steam. He can't believe the price because he's been like not paying too much attention for the last few days, and he's about to become an orca. He's going to, help me support him better. So that's pretty awesome. So yeah, he's going straight to orca. Like when I told him the price, 38 cents, he said, "What?" So he just bought 3 Bitcoins and he's buying, a bunch of Steam, and he's going to orca up, so it's pretty awesome. And honestly, that's the thing of it is, it's like I just don't have that money, but if I had that money, this would be the time. This would be when I would be doing it. And it wouldn't be, I wouldn't be waiting let me see if it goes up a little bit to see if it's going to go up. There's a possibility that this might go down, and I have to be honest about it. But at the end of the day, it has to do, and the reason why I believe that it's going to recover, it has to do with, with the community, with the people that are still here. We're still interacting. We're still doing stuff. The apps are still here. The apps are still being built. So I'm pretty sure that even if we go lower, and we could, eventually it's going to go up, but here's the way that I see it. If it goes lower, well, that's an opportunity also to cost average go to I would buy a little more, not to say that I could, but if it goes higher, well, there goes the train. So that's my attitude. So of course, this friend of mine, he has a different financial situation than my own, but if it goes lower, I think he's just going to end up buying more. Really, that's probably what's going to happen. And he's going to end up winning even more. There was a time, set up your buy walls. Actually, this meeting is not really so much about TA, but if you look at the buy walls right now on Binance and about Bittrex, they're pretty massive. So like there's people buying, you can see in the buy walls for 32 cents, 30 cents, there's like 30 BTCs, right there to catch steam. Because, so it could it drop more? Yeah, of course. Somebody could come in and be like, okay, that's it, I'm dumping, and send it all the way down. But the buy walls are pretty aggressive right now. So you would have to sell a lot to be able to bring the price down like that. I don't see it happening at least today. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. If somebody freaks out, if a huge whale freaks out and starts dumping, maybe. but I don't see it happening. So anyways, so we talked about that. We talked about why the wallet is being displayed wrong. There was an issue open on GitHub that's going to get repaired. I don't know when it's going to display correctly, but of course, don't think that if you power down and you sell your Steam to block trades or anything like that, you're going to get that dollar amount. That's just a display issue. It has nothing to do with the actual value of your tokens, even though it kind of feels good to see that number, right? You look at it and you're like, oh my God, can you imagine that? It feels good. It's not real. It's just a bug at this point in time. But the other thing I was going to say, which is 8 billion with this, yeah. The other thing I was going to say, which I think is pretty cool, and I think most of you guys know already about it, but just in case you don't know, there's a new thing that started, and 3 days ago they released a post about it because they're looking for people. And of course, this is something that I think is going to help the platform in the long run. And if you guys are interested, or if you know somebody that might be interested, this is a job that you could have, and you can make the money in in Steam. So it's a good way to accumulate Steam. This is something that was announced 3 days ago regarding the Steam onboarding initiative. If you don't know what that is, where have you been? The first post wasn't trending for like 4 days, but basically this initiative that was created by Eric, by A Nomad Soul, and Coruscate. I don't know if that's how you say it, Coruscate, Leah. With the idea of bringing people into Steam, but also training them. So they're going to be doing videos and tests that they have to pass, and when they pass those tests and they understand some basics about the Steam blockchain and what have you, they're going to be able to win a free account. And that way they don't have to wait 2 or 3 weeks for freaking Steam and Inc. to give them an account. They could actually do it like this, but the idea is that once they finish the onboarding, they're going to know pretty much the basics of being a good Steamian. What not to do, how to be safe, your keys, and all that stuff. If they don't pass the test, they don't get the account. So I like it. Now, one of the things that they need, and the reason why I'm sharing this post today and why I think it's important, is that they are going to be doing the materials for the for the Steam onboarding in different languages. So they are hiring. So if you know somebody that speaks German that might want to do it, Russian, French, Mandarin, Thai, there's a few languages that are still looking for people. Or if you want to get involved, and even though you don't speak those languages, even though you speak Spanish or what have you, and you want to do, or English, and you want to do some videos, I think it's a great opportunity to get involved with them, to do something for the platform and do something for yourself. They're actually going to be paying in liquid Steam, so it's pretty awesome. All right, so that is the first thing I wanted to share, and then we're going to do some shilling after this second post. This is something else that I wanted to make sure you guys know about because I think it's pretty awesome. And it, in my opinion, this is also going to help with the adoption of the blockchain. Well, you could count this as my first shill. You could, but this is not the main shill that I wanted to do. So you could count this as my first shill. This is a post that Anka made. She's not here at the moment. If not, I would make her talk about it. But she actually tried out the Engrave platform. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but Engrave is also very, very, very new. It is basically a way for you to create a custom website for your Steam blog. That is the easiest way for me to explain it. So if you were an artist, or if you were somebody that, I don't know, did websites or what have you, and you wanted to have your own type WordPress type website, but even more professional looking than that, but you want to be able to link it to your Steam blockchain, Engrave might just be for you. It looks super slick. It actually has a bunch of features that are being added over every single week. There's themes just like in you would have in WordPress, and the team is working really hard to even implement a way for you to be able to select what posts from your past blogging, I guess you could say, you could bring into your page. So this post was made by Anka. If you guys want to check it out, she's talking about it. She gives her honest opinion, but to me the website looks amazing. And truth be told, one of the reasons why I think this might be a piece of the puzzle for us to succeed as a blockchain is because, I don't know if you guys know this, but I think it's like 80% or something like that of the websites on the internet are WordPress. I don't know if you guys know that. Like 80%, it's a ridiculous number. are WordPress websites. So it is obvious that most people like to have this type of website for their work, for what it is that they're doing. You know, a website where you go in there, you can access the personal stuff the guy's doing, is keeping a little blog, writing, or what have you.
I got a question about this.
Let's go for it.
So it says 10 Steam or 10 SBD to buy a domain and start using it, I guess.
Yes.
Is there a monthly fee with Engrave, or do they take curation rewards like all the other apps?
They take curation rewards. So the way that it works, at least right now, they're saying that this might change in the future. When you sign up for them, you pay the Steam, and then after that, if you are using the website and you're posting through them, they take a cut. That is the business model at the moment. And
you know how much?
I think it's 15%. I think. It does seem kind of steep, but you got to think about it a different way, though, Wes. Because if you are somebody that, like I say, you are a photographer. That's one of the things that you do, and you want a portfolio somewhere where you can, display to people the work that you're doing. You can think of it like, well, you know what? Yeah, I'm using 15% of my rewards to fuel the website that is also the way I sell my business. So I guess it's not for everybody, but it is very interesting. And one of the things that I particularly think is going to make it even better is that it is somewhat of a preview of how communities might work, because they're also working to having a system where you can have multiple authors, which I think it's pretty awesome. So one of the things I'm looking forward to once they implement it is us having like a Helpie page within Engrave, and then people that want to write articles about Helpie or stuff related to Helpie can do it through there, and curations or what have you. But you could do it with your username through Helpie, and it can all display there, and we can have some sort of community presence on Engrave. I think that could be pretty interesting. And like I said, it's a preview to how communities might work in the future. So, of course, if communities happen the way that we think they are going to happen, technically, they wouldn't be taking 15%, technically. But would they be, or the implementation of such a thing, the implementation of HiveMind, would it look that pretty? I don't know. Can you do themes? I don't know. Can you rearrange posts? I don't know. So there's some conveniences to doing it with them that I find particularly kind of cool. So, of course, this is my personal opinion. Everybody can disagree with me, and that's fine. But I think it's interesting. I've been using a few apps, trying out new stuff, because there's been so many developments. So, like Steamfest, I came back and I had like 20 things I wanted to try, because that's how many things I think I was able to catch, and so many more that I didn't. So I tried, Engrave was tried by Anka, and I've been trying something called Steve. Have you guys heard about Steve?
Steve.app?
Yes, Steve. I don't know any name. Steve.app. I've been trying this front end to Steam, and I also like it. Steve, if you want to buy some Steam without exchange, get a hold of Scary Cat Guide. I had no idea, Ron. I had no idea that he was pushing some Steam. Interesting. Wow, look at that. I had no idea. Oh, okay. Good to know. I had no idea. That's pretty awesome. Okay. Well, well, he's in here in Helpie, so anybody that wants to get a hold of him, and just click on the name and talk to him. But that is pretty cool. Free ebook. That is awesome. Right. So I was gonna say, if you guys want to try out Steve, the team from Steve is HR1 and a couple more people that I'm not too familiar with. But they're also curating posts about Steve. So if you want to check it out, try it out, and you want to win some upvotes for giving them your honest opinion, they seem to be curating everybody that's writing about it. So, Void and HR1, that's right, Void. And I think that's also pretty cool. And actually, I actually like the interface. I've been using it for the last few days. My last post I wrote on Steve. It's actually pretty slick, and it looks promising. Let me put it this way. I think Steemit Inc. is on the way. It's fading out Steemit.com. I think that's pretty obvious. I know to some people that's like me telling them that the computer is about to die or something. Like I'm giving you some tragic news. but it's pretty obvious they have no interest in upgrading Steam, and another front end to Steam is going to end up taking over. I don't know which one is going to be the leader. I have no idea. I suspect it's either going to be Steve, this is my opinion, or it's going to be Steam Peak, because they're both really nice. And right now, as far as I'm concerned, Steam Peak is winning, but the other ones are starting to catch up. That's my opinion, at least. All right, so that's going to be it for my weird shilling. And then we're gonna do some normal shilling from other people. And if you guys want to shill too, just let me know when we do some shilling. Steam Peak is pretty kick-ass. It's gonna be really hard to beat. I agree. But I'm glad that there's competition, because competition always brings the best. That's how it works. And like, if you have somebody that you gotta beat, that means you gotta be amazing. So I'm looking forward to what that is gonna generate. And at the end of the day, the user experience is it's really what's going to keep people here. Yes, of course, if the price of Steam is high, there's going to be more people, what have you. But if it's fun, nonetheless, regardless of the price of Steam, if the experience is pleasant, if it's easy to use, it's also going to help people stay. And I think in the long term, that's more important. Yes. All right, Sunravel Me, you want to start out your shill? You're going to be the first shiller. Son, are you there?
All right, I'm here.
Oh, there you go.
I just needed to take a minute to get everyone situated. All right, so I have 2 posts. I have a positive Steemit post, and then I have a negative critical Steemit post.
Oh, yeah?
So that I'd like to share is Katrina Ariel. Curated her for MSP yesterday, but I love this one. It has everything that I like. It's got poetry that she promises to make a song for us later, so I'm really excited about that. And it's just super upbeat, and it's just kind of what we all need right now with the market and everything that's going on, which I refuse to talk about prices in my household, but that's I just love it. And I think the lines initially, I've got a face full of smile, a head full of happy, a belly full of laughter, and a heart full of love. I was just like, oh, melt. So sweet.
It is awesome.
Yeah, so Katrina Ariel was my first pick. And then my second pick is A Big Contrast by Big Dizzle. Dizzle is talking about the issues with bots and lack of interaction and things that are going on, especially with the markets being down right now, and some of the things that he would like to see help. So one thing that I really liked, in the middle of his post, he talks about being able to search a tag but exclude other tags. Be a really easy thing to add to a search. That's something that Google has. If you do a minus, it'll leave out a specific word. I'm not a developer. I don't know anything about any of that. But if anybody is, I think it would be a great thing to add.
Well,
and
I don't code either, but I don't think that's too hard. Like, honestly. I mean, I could be wrong.
I don't know anything about it, but I would think it would be easy. And then he also talks about with auto voting, which a lot of us benefit from, but you also don't get a whole lot of interaction because everyone's doing auto votes instead, and when it comes to the people that you really, really like. And I don't know how much of that is time involved, and people just feel like they don't have the time to read everybody that they care about. Bot helps a lot with that, and he doesn't mention her at all. But I use GinaBot, and I add like my favorite people that I really like, but I still sometimes don't comment on them.
That's true. I'm guilty of that. I read quite a bit, and I don't comment all the time. And I try to be better, but I try. That's the key word.
Kind of encourages us all to be better about that.
Yeah.
just criticism, but it's very thoughtful criticism.
Well, son. Well, now that we're having this conversation, let me ask you something. A complicated question. It's not a loaded question. It's just complicated. What would you rather have?
Mhm.
Would you rather have? Would you rather be able to support people regardless if you're sleeping or what have you, but you want to make sure that you are supporting them, or would you rather be like, no, 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 I'm gonna do manual curation regardless because it's important that I do it manual. Like if you can only have one or the other, like of course that's not how the world works. It's not a black and white situation, but imagine that it is for a second. What would be
I think
your
I'd always
choice?
rather be a manual curator.
Mm-hmm.
Nice as it is to be able to auto vote everybody, if I'm auto voting, I'm not reading any of that. Like, it's never going to happen. I might see it in my thing and be like, oh, I voted on that, but I'm still not going to click on it and be like, oh, I voted on that. So, what's nice about Gina is, like, I'll click on it and I'll read it and
Mm-hmm.
then vote it. And sometimes I miss posts because I don't have time to read them, especially when I'm traveling or doing things like that. But for the most part, I get to see and I get to support everyone that I want to.
Mm-hmm.
Better than my feed with all the re-steams and everything like that. So I think I would much rather bias too because I am a curator. So
Mm-hmm.
grain of salt.
Well, but that's why, yeah, that's why I ask you, because of course you're a curator, so your role is kind of, I wouldn't say tinged, but your opinion comes from like one extreme. And there are some people out there, for example, in the case of Aggie, because I've had this conversation with Aggie. Aggie admits, and he doesn't say it with shame, he's not a great curator, and that he rather have his steam power support the people that he cares about. You know, and I think that argument is also valid. And the only reason why I'm bringing this up is just to say that I don't think one is necessarily wrong, and the other one right. I just think there are different ways of looking at how do you have positive influence on the platform. Like you could say, you could from both in both situations you could say, well, manual curators, yeah, but they don't do that good of a job because how much can you actually manually curate, and there's all these people that you don't get to curate, and your steam power sits there and all this stuff. You could say that. That's of course that's a negative, and I would never make that argument, but somebody could. In the auto vote, you could also say, oh, but yeah, people don't even read and all this stuff, and you can do that. I like the auto vote as I think of it like that. I think the auto vote like a subscription model. Obviously, I do manual curation myself from Menno, but because I want to make sure that the people I care about are taken care of, I delegate a considerable amount to Helpie, and to other, not just to Helpie, but to other initiatives that curate people, because I'm like, okay, I want other people to also get curated by curators, and hence why I do so. But I get the positive sides of both angles. This is just to say that I don't think he's wrong per se, but it's like Blanche just said, a balanced diet is probably the best way to look at it.
Yeah, I think we need both. Ultimately, I think the system is designed for both, and I think when things get hard and interaction gets low, I think the bots kind of take over and kind of keep us running in that sense when emotionally a lot of us can't take the pain anymore. But I think when we're booming, then that's when the manual interaction really takes over. So kind of like a seesaw, it goes back and forth and it finds its balance and it does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a free platform.
I have a question for you, son, and I'm sorry I'm picking on you. I'm not picking on you. It's just that you're the one that opened your microphone, so I'm talking to you.
I feel abused.
Yeah.
I feel abused.
Do you know what our shares are?
Shares.
Yeah, this here. Our shares. Our shares. This is a good question. A good conversation to talk about since we're talking about the price being down. Future Mind. I'm just going to put this in a recording because the video quality of my recordings is not that great. I want to make sure people understand what he said. Future Mind is saying, manual curation is an absolute must for retention. New users do not start with any form of automation, and it will be quickly swayed to leave if the content goes unrecognized. We all have the inherent duty to ensure manual curation is fulfilled, no matter the ESP level that we are all at. I agree, Future Mind. That's it. It's a great way to look at it. I think that's exactly why I believe curation initiatives are so important to the health of the blockchain, and why we support C cubed. C cubed, C squared. Well, it's both. C squared, C cubed. It's confusing. But yes, that's why we support it, because we believe it's important to the health of the platform. But to go back to the question, Sun, do you know what R shares are?
Oh, please tell me about our shares.
R shares. Let me see. Who is good at math? Eon, do you want to explain what R shares are?
Wait, hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. That is kind of the our shares are like. Wait, I'm not actually prepared to explain this. In terms of if we're talking about posts, when you actually assign a vote to a post, you assign R shares to it, and what that is it's coming from. It's basically proportional to the amount of Steam power you have, and everyone is voting with R shares. And when it comes time to allocate the rewards, the amount of awards that goes to a post is the amount of R shares that post has collected, in proportion with the amount of R shares that is assigned in the entire system in that particular. I think there's like a 7-day window or something like that. I'm not so clear on that.
No,
but,
of course, yeah, seven days, exactly, 7 days.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, Paula just said it. So yeah, so basically everyone assigns you vote, everyone votes, and you assign R shares to posts, and at the end of the day, it gets divided in proportion with how much R shares are assigned. And by the way, after hard fork, when hard fork 20 happened, when a lot of activity went down, that's why the values of the posts shot up quite a bit, because not many people were assigning R shares. So basically, there were less R shares splitting the rewards pool, which was pretty awesome for that week.
Yeah, for the almost 2 weeks. So a good analogy, because to some it might be harder to visualize. A good analogy: imagine R shares like IOU notes, right, against the pool, and when people vote on content, when they vote on posts and they vote on comments, you're basically giving that post or that user these IOU notes, and in 7 days you cash them in. They become Steam tokens. Yeah, right now it's mostly Steam. It's not going to be SBDs. So why am I talking about this? Because the reason why this is important is because even though the price of Steam is down, the R shares didn't disappear. See what I mean? So like, if I was a gigantic whale, let's say Joe Files, he's like over 1 million Steam power. I didn't have a particular amount of R shares when the price was $5, and now I have a different amount of R shares when the price is 39 cents. I still have the same amount of R shares that I can assign. So if I was to get curated by him, or if I was to get curated by MSP Curation or what have you, I'm still winning the same amount of tokens, and possibly even more because the price is lower. So, and when the price is lower, there's less people posting, and that means less competition. I know that's like a sad thing, but that's a silver lining, and that's the point I'm trying to make. So even though it might not seem right now like, oh, you are making a lot of money, and I get that, like, and I'm not going to show you this because I'm trying to brag. That's not what I'm doing. I just want to make sure that you guys see the potential on the current situation, because that's kind of how I see it. So I'm by no means somebody that's on trending every single day. I don't have that power to do that. But this is me in 7 days. So I have coming to me in 7 days 360 Steam power, 360 liquid Steam. But that's so now in dollar amount. So that's what 720.
Hang on. Can I pause you there?
Yes.
Shares, or that is just what your account is getting in general?
Well, this is what my account is getting in 7 days, right? But if you were to look at my posts are tiny. I have like 7, 8, 10. There's a couple of 14s or stuff like that. There's a couple of 3s, But the difference is, and that I see the price right now like an opportunity. I'm like, okay, shit. Right now, if I write like a mother hoocher, and I'm writing like a mother hoocher, I'm doing 3 posts a day minimum. This is my minimum right now. I will not allow me to do less than 3. And I'm going to start doing more musings. My goal is to be able to collect, 600 or more Steam tokens per week. But now, if I was to cash them out right now, I do have one, by the way. I didn't pay for that though. Somebody liked the post and it for me, but
and called you out.
yeah, he called me out. But my point is like,
I wasn't trying to call you out. I was like wondering like, why that number sounds really high, and I was like, oh, there was like a really, really popular post in the middle of.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep on doing it. I'm gonna keep on posting 3 times a day minimum. Like that's my goal right now. Is like what I'm gonna keep on doing, and I hope you guys follow me on this one. Is like the longer the bear market lasts, the higher the goal I'm gonna set for myself. So when I first started this whole thing, I was like, okay, that's it. I'm gonna be a dolphin on Steam. I had 4,800 Steam power, and this was 3 or 4 months ago. It has not been longer than that. And I said to myself, I'm gonna get to 8,000. As a matter of fact, Paula gave me a little upvote and said, here to help you out. And she gave me like 25 cents back then. We had a conversation in the Steam blockchain. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get to 8,000. That's going to be my goal. I just hit 13,000 yesterday. Obviously, I blew it out of the water, but it's because the price is so low. And now my new target is 15. And if the bear market lasts another month, I'm going to put it up to 20. I mean, I'm just going to keep on going because here's the thing. I remember a 20,000 Steam Power account being able to upvote $17 at some point in time. I remember that. So when Steam turns around, and it will eventually. I don't know when, but it will eventually. And if I'm able to get to 20,000, I'm gonna be able to do so much more, and for the community, for everybody else, I'm gonna have an upvote that's gonna be considerably nice. And I'm going to be able to take care of a lot of people. And that's kind of the goal. So, by all means, Paula. By all means, please do. Your microphone was working because we heard the TV a second ago.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll just drop a link in a few minutes. Just if people are powering up, there's... On the Minnow Power Up League that's run by the Steam community account, they give out 50 Steam worth of prizes every week is what we're giving out for people just powering up. And then on the Minnow Power Up League, or on the Redfish Power Up League, you'll find that one on my account if you're still a Redfish working your way to Minnowhood. So do join them because they're quite engaging and there's some nice prizes, not just for powering up. So that's all, just plug that. That's not my shill. That was just a quick plug. Seems we were talking about powering up and stuff.
Well, yeah, no, it's awesome. Yeah, by all means. I think it's a time to be doing these contests, bring up as much. I'm gonna right now. I'm being an idiot about it. Like I get one of those memos, like, oh, promote with those, and I power that up. Yeah, the 0.001. I convert it to Steam and I power it up. Like I am being an idiot because I'm focused. I'm going to. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna get to my 15 before the market turns around. But what's amazing about this is that as you go, it gets easier, because I remember, when I got my first 1,000 Steam Power, it was so much work, to get there. But if I think, obviously this week I got lucky, like one of the whales liked my stuff and they send that post into trending. But right now, I don't want to sound like I'm being cocky, but right now making a couple hundred Steam a week is not crazy to me. It's not. It's just like, yeah, that's a good week of work. If I make like 200, 300, that's a week of posting. But back in the day, 300 Steam, you're crazy. Like, I must be freaking killing it. So it gets easier as you go. Yes, I love spam memos too for that. Yes. Oh, you're getting some from Smart Steam. Oh, there you go. Smart Steam is doing it. Oh, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, you should thank the Wolf for doing that. So yeah, so right now my point is, we went this really long way to talk about our shares because if you're posting right now, you're likely to grow a lot faster than if you were back when the price was $3 or $4 or $5. Now, of course, if you live off Steam, and I'm one of those crazy people, is a really terrible time, and I'm doing some stuff, and I've applied for some jobs because I need to eat too. But the way I see it is like, okay, I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna figure how to stay alive in the real world, but I'm not gonna miss the opportunity to grow because I have these ideas, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do too. I have these goals. These are the things that I want to do, not for my life really on the blockchain, but I cannot give what I don't have, and that is really my attitude. If I don't have it, I can't give it. Oh, there you go. All right. Son, thank you for letting me pick on you. Eon, thank you for explaining our shares to the people. And of course, well, now let's move on. Let's do, Paula is going to do a little shill. And I think that's going to be it for the night, really, because we don't have many people here shilling today. Unless Blanche wants to do a shill, which will be awesome as well.
Okay, I was just grabbing the link. Hold on, just till I put the link. Okay, so this is something quite different. It's not really the post itself. It's more the person that I want to shill and what they're trying to do here. Happy Me is the author, and what she's doing is running this zombie adventure game, and it's based on three bots that are available on the system. They're roll the dice bots, and I'm sure most of you know how much I love the games and the lotto and stuff. Well, these are roll the dice bots. So you're basically move around a board. The board we're playing on at the moment it's like a tabletop game. It's a role-playing tabletop game, and the board we're playing at the moment is a dark board. You can't see where you're going. You're walking into rooms and searching for stuff and looking for zombies. And the end role of this particular game is to find the light switch to turn on the lights. It's a really good way just to engage if people are finding that they don't know what to post about and they just want something different to engage on. They can go ahead and join this game, and every day they get a turn in the game on the board and they get to engage, and it's quite fun. And Happy Me is up voting as well every turn, and I've also said for the next couple of weeks I'll help with up votes on the turns on the game just to try and get some more people involved, because I think it's a really, really good thing for engagement. And that's kind of why I wanted to shill it.
That's awesome. Well, I love it. I used to be a gamer, like not anymore, and I love puzzles, and so this kind of seems to be up my alley. So I'm probably gonna give it a go myself. I'm a gamer in recovery.
I'm not a gamer myself. I don't play games myself, and I haven't even got into Steam Monsters. So when I was invited onto this, I was a bit kind of like, oh well, I'll do it for you because you asked me, like. But now I'm having loads of fun, and yeah, it's a bit of crack, and I'm rolling the dice and I'm killing zombies, and yeah, it's great fun.
Well, I'm a gamer in recovery. I have to say in my defense, I've one day I said to myself, okay, that's it, and I gave away my PlayStation, I gave away my my Xbox. I'm like, I'm done because I'm a gamer in recovery. I love them too much, and that's a problem. And I love puzzles. That's one of my favorite things, and strategy games are also one of my favorite things. Yeah, so that's why I can't owe the consoles anymore. It's the best way to do it. Yes. I sold them for... I wish I would have sold them for Steam. That would have been better. Yeah. Alright, guys. Well, I don't think anybody else is going to shill. But I'm glad we had a little meeting, even if we had a small crowd. And I'm glad we had this conversation. And of course, I'm here, guys. I'm here. Nobody's going anywhere. Everything's going to be fun. Small crowd, oh yeah, somewhat small. We get usually at least 5-6 more people. Of course, Blue It. Next week you get to show. So, well, today's just Unravel Me. Paula's already on the Helpie fan club. I'm pretty sure she is. I'll double check. But if not, of course, we'll add her. And Unravel Me, I think she is. But if not, of course, I'll check. So. At any rate, thank you so much, guys, for coming, for having this conversation with me. I hope that nobody's feeling down. I hope that people right now are seeing the silver lining in the situation. I think it's a great time for growth. The platform's not going anywhere. I've actually spoken to a few really wealthy people, really people that have money, and a lot of them are buying. And if you just got to look at wallets, I don't have to tell you. Just look at wallets. Like I told you, a friend of mine today. He just became an Orca. He sent me a message right now. He's like, okay, I got it. 50,000 Steam. Just bought him right now. And he's powering up. He sent me a message. So, and he's probably going to be supporting Helpie a little more too. So, how many people are thinking like him? You know, this is a great opportunity. So if you guys see it like that, because opportunities are made in the bear markets. That's where they're made. It's not when things are thriving. That's not the time for you to have an opportunity. No, it's like it's right now. It's when you can actually say, okay, I took advantage of the situation. You can poise yourself to succeed. It is right now, not when we're in $4 or $5. That's the time to harvest. So we kind of do it backwards, right? When it's time to harvest, we're like, oh, you know, let's do this all stuff, and we're not taking profits off the table and making sure that we have enough for the skinny cow times. And right now, when it's the skinny cow times, when we should be watering the soil, we should be taking care of the crops, planting. That's what we should be doing. Like, oh no, right now I need to power down and I need to sell it all, like for 39 cents. One of the things that I cannot bring myself to do, by the way, I cannot bring myself to sell a Steam for 39 cents because my mind is worth a lot more than that. Like, if you were to tell me, listen, sell me some of your Steam, I cannot sell it to you for less than a couple of bucks. I really can't. I'm like, no, I'm gonna use it so much. I'm gonna get so much juice out of it because I work with it so much that it's not worth 39 cents. So I'm not selling. You have a scarf? All right, sounds good. Anyways, guys, I'm going to kill the recording. You've been listening to the voice of Menno. Also, Apology was speaking on this recording. It warped and Sunravel me. I don't think we had anyone else. I think even Wes didn't talk. Normally, Wes says... There you go. That was Wes. So, thank you so much for coming, guys. And I'll be around. So if you need me, just click on my face. This is Menno, signing out.